What's the ultimate predator? What's the enemy you harbor in your own heart who hates? It's the crowds are well dressed, extremely positive, there for good reasons, apolitical in the best sense of theaters are packed, the lectures are going well to extremely well. The time I spend afterwards meeting people it's like being in a wedding celebration. I would say that's the closest thing I could.
What do you mean?
Well, you go to a wedding and you meet all sorts of people you don't know generally, and everyone's happy to be there, and they're all looking good because they dressed up for the occasion, and it's a positive event, and that's the closest analogy that I can think of that would describe are there because they're trying to put their lives together, and they are. We spoke probably for 20 minutes in total, not purely privately because there's other people around, but that just barely gets you to know the surface of someone like Musk, because he's an amazing person, and God only knows what's up with him, all things considered. We saw his new truck. He was taking people out for a ride. I didn't go out for a ride. The truck's an amazing piece of engineering. The factory is massive. Yeah.
What do you think that is? Why are you converging?
Increases the probability of that kind of convergence, but maybe he's aiming up. He's got a theatrical twist, there's no doubt about that, and a great sense of humor, because that's really funny to shoot your own car out into space on a rocket.
Needlessly.
That's a pretty damn good joke. I think he's got himself to that stage. I think he's always done that, and so now he still knows how to do it, where I'm protected and secure. It's like, first of all, being protected and secure does not give you the courage to say what you have to say. That's a completely... That theory couldn't be more backwards. You think you're going to get braver and braver as you get more and more protected? You think that's how the world works? I mean, I've watched university professors think that at some point they're going to say what they think as they develop their career, but by the time they're protected and secure, they've spent so much time not saying what they think that they aren't even who they were, and they don't know what they think. So, no, he says what he says because he's always done that. And people who are like him are like that. And so Steve Jobs, I presume, was exactly the same way. I mean, I know people who knew him. He always said what he thought, and he was pretty damn cut and dried about it, which is why the Apple products are such miracles of technological mastery. He had an unbelievably canny design eye and was right, so that was proof. I mean, maybe it was fluke the first time, which it wasn't, but coming back and doing it again the second time showed pretty clearly it wasn't.
Same with Elon, right? He's refined down what he does to a couple of very, very tight parameters.
Well, he seems to have, although the enterprise he's put together is unbelievably high functioning. I mean, to produce an automobile sub-industry that's actually competitive, and to bring down the cost of space exploration by a factor of 10, and to invent reusable rockets, and to have developed this boring tech. It's an amazing accomplishment. So go Elon, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, if I used one, it would be black.
Why?
Why not? It's so preposterous, all of that. Everything that's happened to Rogan, all this idiocy around race, this insistence that we can be reduced to our race, our ethnicity, our sexual identity. It's so appalling, and it's so destructive. And one of the reasons that I had a lot of reasons for making my political stance in relationship to Canada's compelled speech laws. I had a lot of reasons for making my views about that known. One of them was the fact that my government had introduced a bill that required me to say things a certain way, which was an unparalleled move in the history of Western democracies, and something the Americans had made strictly unconstitutional, I believe, in 1942. So that was part of it. Part of it was I knew that this, primarily girls, to a kind of psychological contagion as confusion about sex and gender identity ramped up. Justice history were handed out often to women who were accused of late onset female sexual predation of children in daycare centers, panic daycare abuse rituals. And there was just swept across the whole country like the Salem witch trials, except at a much larger scale. There's a book called Satan's Silence that was written by a lawyer and a social worker that dogs a contagion. And those things happen. It happened with cutting behaviors. They called it hysteria back in Freud's time, but there's a book, and maybe you're playing the good person and the institution is Satan. So you're so good, are you? You're so sure of that, are you? It's a very, very strange idea, but it's part of this psychologization of evil. Like, what's the ultimate predator? What's the ultimate predator?